Welcome to Sideline Vibes, the Minnesota sports show changing the narrative of Minnesota sports fandom. I'm your host, Derek Long. With me in a new location. We're now at home. We're now at home. It's like the Lynx are at home. And the new Mikasa?
Mikasa.
No. Yeah. Something
you
like that.
say Mikasa, I say Suka.
In Mi Nuevo Casa. Is Nuevo the?
Yeah.
We're butchering that. New house alert. We're in the office, still under renovations. You might see in the back. It looks a little. We're getting things in the right spots. Yeah. And producer extraordinaire, man with a new haircut, and fan of not great team right now, the Mitch Reeby.
That's okay. At least I'm not the only team in the NFC North that is struggle bussing.
Today we have Andrew Dukowitz on to talk Lynx basketball and break down kind of how the season's going for the Lynx, as well as Game 1 and the series and playoffs as a whole for the Lynx and what it looks like for the potential WNBA champs. Definitely the favorites. And then, of course, State of the State. Boom. Let's get to it. All right, we're with Andrew Dukowitz. Is that how you say your last name?
Yes, sir.
Oh my gosh, nailed it. Lynx, Wolves, and now Gophers women's basketball beat reporter. Also host of the Missing Lynx podcast. Where you could check out. You guys are probably the number one Lynx podcast.
I would imagine by now we are. I mean, there's not a ton of us out there, so it's not like being number one in like the country for like Vikings podcast, but like it gets a pretty good amount of traction. It's just proof that Lynx fans want content, which up until the last couple of years, there just hasn't really been a lot of outside of like mainstream media 2-minute clips on Channel 9 or Care 11. Just hasn't been a lot of content out there. So yeah, it's been doing great. I'm just glad people are paying attention and listening to it. It's still shocking to me.
I tune in quite a bit. I mean, I've been following you for quite a while, between Wolves, and you do a great job. I love my favorite thing of what you do is like the videos of the instant videos of all like the press conferences after the games. Like I feel like that's something that not a lot of beat reporters do or have the time to do, and you somehow do it all on the fly, and that's pretty impressive. So how'd you get into beat reporting and getting into the Wolves, Lynx, and now Gophers women's basketball?
Yeah, it's it's about as unconventional as you can get. I'm a RN as my day job, and that's what I've been doing for the past 11 years of my life. And about 3 or 4 years ago, I sat down with my wife and I was just kind of like, you know what? I'd like to make a run at this. Like the little version of myself that was always told you can't get into sports media was feeling bitter. And I decided to make a run at it. My wife kind of fully supported it and started off hosting a Vikings podcast for a website that I don't know if it's still going, but NFC North Report. Had kind of college data writers coming on talking about football, something that I am not an expert in by any means, but it was a good kind of first step in the industry. That led to me getting a writing contract gig with Zone Coverage, who I'm still currently with, covering the Lynx and the Wolves for. And after writing for a couple of years last summer, I guess the Lynx wanted some more coverage around their team. So they asked my boss if he had anyone that would want to cover the Lynx, and he threw my name in the hat. Evidently, I didn't get on too many people's nerves last summer with the Lynx because they kind of were the building block for me getting a chance to cover the Wolves.
Sure.
And Wolves went great last year, and now we're back to the Lynx, and it's kind of a interesting beat reporting thing because you need a lot of luck to kind of get into this position. I mean, there's only so many people that can be in the room at the same time, but really it just kind of comes down to, I mean, anyone listening that wants to get into it, it's just how hard do you want to work at it, which sure. I mean, I hadn't taken a college writing class since my freshman year at Minnesota, the now defunct Minnesota School of Business. And Tom Scherer, who is the owner and editor of Zone Coverage, spent many an hour putting 30 or 40 markups on my pieces. But as long as you kind of stick with it and keep chugging along, eventually you start getting better and better, and opportunities kind of present themselves. And now here we are, which I appreciate you saying the post game stuff is something that you really like, because
Yeah.
when I got into media, that was one of my things that it always bothered me, right? Like, you could go on YouTube and watch the full 40-minute press conference.
Yeah.
Who has time to do that? And when you're glued, everyone's kind of glued to their
Mhm.
phones. Like, if someone could just chop that up into 40-second increments, it'd probably do pretty well. And thankfully that went pretty well.
Yeah. Oh, I love them. That's like the first thing I do when I go on, because I don't like to listen to like the full. Might not have
Yeah.
time, or might be doing something. So like I always go on and I like reading it, even if you can't listen to the video out loud. You have it all typed up, which is kind of nice for that too. But so how do you balance everything, being a nurse and beat reporting for several, I mean, multiple teams here?
I have a wife that really enjoys watching TV shows without her husband. So that helps. Anytime she can binge watch Outlander without me asking what's going on every 5 minutes, that helps quite a bit. Thankfully, my day job, I work in kind of a niche section of healthcare where I do home wound visits for the most
Mm.
part. So I schedule my own day. Really works out because Wolves will send out practice the night before, and then I'll just kind of text or call patients and say, hey, I'm going to be unavailable for these couple hours. Let's get you in the afternoon before or after. And I mean, my day job supports it. I'll say, again, it is time consuming. You got to kind of really have that like drive, but at the same time, it's like the things that, I'll phrase it this way, like it's not lost on me the amount of money that people would pay to just be able to go and like talk to Jaden
Yeah.
McDaniels for
Yeah.
5 minutes, or sit courtside at a Lynx game and then get to talk to Cheryl Reeves after it. So it's like I would be doing most of this anyways. It's just the editing videos and writing part that's an add-on, because I'd be at all these Wolves games and Lynx games anyways. So yeah.
Sure. Well, let's get into talking Lynx. Game one, you did a good job recapping that already on yours. If you haven't checked it out, the missing links, we don't need to get too much into it because you covered it for probably quite a bit, and I want people to go check out your stuff. But we're going to talk about the Lynx as a whole. But 107, 101-72, kind of a blowout. But first quarter did not feel like it was going to be that case. So what were some of your thoughts, just like after the game?
Yeah, it was interesting. The first quarter kind of felt like the Lynx were almost like over caffeinated, like they had too many cups of coffee before a noon game, and Courtney was kind of all over the place. Lan was kind of all over the place. Um, about the 7-minute mark, I remember turning to Terry Horseman, who sits next to me on press row, and I said, "Yep, it's changing," because you can just kind of feel it when the Lynx start to like lock in. And from that point on, the game was just kind of extensively over. They just kind of did everything to perfection. They started hitting threes. They started getting points in the paint. They scored 44 points in the paint, and Golden State is the number one paint defense team in the league. They were getting their three ball going. Everything seemed kind of easy. And I mean, this is kind of the matchup you'd expect between like an expansion franchise that's kind of surprised everyone and made the playoffs versus a Lynx team that, I mean, really the first half of the season was just kind of a buzzsaw going through teams. I guess like my biggest takeaway is just, coming into this game, the Lynx really hadn't had to play like a competitive basketball game since like early August, mid-July, if we're being honest. I mean, they were so far ahead in the 1 seed that when Fee got hurt, they could slow play her coming back. They didn't really need to win any games. So for me, it was just, is this Lynx team going to be able to just flip that switch right away and go in and just kind of blow out for all extensive purposes, like a good team? The Valkyries are third best defense in the league. They play a lot of zone. They're very disciplined. They kind of win on the margins. And other than those first 7 minutes, the Lynx probably played better basketball than at any point this season, which at time of recording, the Liberty and Mercury are currently in overtime, and that game just almost looks like the opposite,
Oh
where
yeah.
they are both just trying to desperately figure out what's going on. So if anything, I feel pretty confident that this Lynx team is going to be in good position to hang another banner at some point, because
Yeah.
they looked like they were firing on all cylinders.
Yeah. No, it was a fun game to kind of see. Yeah, that the jitters early on. I remember when my wife was saying about Courtney, she's like, "Is she okay?" Like she was just looked like so out of control to start the game. It was so. Were you close enough? Can you hear like was Cheryl like getting after them during like the quarter break? Or I always wonder like what she's kind of like when we went to the game. I was we weren't close enough to kind of see. She take kind of like a Finch approach where it's like a little bit more of like a calm, like disappointed. Would be like mom, disappointed dad for Finch like approach, or is it kind of like a like she's getting after it?
Cheryl has some crash outs.
Yeah,
On a game like there, I'll be honest, like this year, the Target Center was pretty packed, so there wasn't a lot of games where we could like hear anything they're
sure.
saying. We sit kind of court diagonal across from their bench, but she gets after her players. I mean, during the
Yeah.
game, she is pretty vocal, pretty irate. I think she relies on like Lindsay Whalen, Rebecca Brunson. Eric gets pretty
Mhm.
emotional too, but I think she relies on more of her assistant coaches to do that, like come over here, look at what we're seeing,
Sure.
pull up the iPad. Cheryl is not that way though. I think she is pretty direct. She is pretty vocal about
Yeah.
what she sees going on. And it's actually kind of funny because you'll see her sitting, like when Courtney goes to the bench, it'll be Cheryl, and then it's usually Waylon and then Courtney, with Waylon in the middle. And anytime something happens, Cheryl immediately like looks at Courtney and starts talking to her, and usually pretty passionately.
Yeah.
And then Courtney checks back into the game and T sits there, and it's the exact same
Yeah.
thing. So she is constantly communicating with her point guards. Everyone else, I don't think she's as hard on, I guess I would say. Fee, of course, there's some times where they have like in quarter interactions where you can tell Cheryl's trying to get her point across, but it's usually the 2 point guards that she is constantly talking to during the
hmm
game.
hmm Interesting. I coach basketball too, so I love watching like the coaching interaction, like how they because both I feel like they're very similar. Finch is a little bit more, I would say, like quiet. He's not gonna sit there and kind of like chew somebody out like that. But it's funny. I feel like Courtney kind of sat for a little bit in that after that first quarter or in between that first quarter because T was having like she came out and
Mhm.
was the spark plug. I think she might have been one of the reasons why we kind of got back in that game early on there. But it was interesting to kind of um, see that flip switched in between the quarters because it's a just a cast difference between um, the two quarters there. Um,
To your Finch point, quick
yeah.
though, it's so interesting covering both of them because they both come from the East Coast, right?
Mhm.
So they have that kind of like deadpan East Coast sarcasm. They're both like extremely like polite, good people.
Mhm.
Like Finch, he's usually on the right side of history on every stance he takes, like publicly. Cheryl, of course, I mean, even tonight she's wearing a Ruth
Yeah.
Bader Ginsburg
Love that.
t-shirt
Love
and
that.
promoting her kind of women being in different seats of power and being in those conversations. So it's interesting that they both have that type of like outspokenness. The big thing between them is I mean, I'll be honest, Finch gets after the people on the Wolves. Like
Mhm.
there are some post games where, I mean, you can hear him yelling in the
Oh
locker room
yeah.
from the media room, and it's a good like turn the corner up the stairs 10 yards away. And he gets after him. He holds him accountable. But then when he gets in front of the media, he almost always falls on the sword and just kind of
Mhm.
talks about what he could do better. Cheryl, on the other hand, I mean, she has no problem calling out people publicly, privately. She'll fall on the sword if she feels she needs to. Today, she kind of admitted that she almost forgot Dejanay was out there and didn't play her in the first half.
Yeah.
But then she'll also, like after the game 44, she said that Courtney was playing like bleep and T went out there and saved them. So it's a very different coaching dynamic. And I
Yeah.
think, if Cheryl ever made a run at the NBA, I think some of her tactics would have to change just because the ego level in the NBA is so
Yeah,
ridiculous. But her and Finch are definitely cut from the same like coaching cloth.
for
They have
sure.
very similar mannerisms, philosophies. I keep trying to get someone to tell me if they're like actual friends outside of the
Yeah.
practice facility, but no one will give me a straight answer.
I feel like when I was listening to you on the Crunch Wears No Pants
Yeah.
podcast, you guys were talking about how they're kind of always chit chatting in the facilities and stuff, and I do also want to believe that that's they go out and grab like a beer or something after the game and go sit there and complain about God, Courtney, we just cannot get it. Yeah, something like that would be kind of fun to know about. But
It's
yeah,
interesting how the Georgia players, Courtney from South
yep,
Georgia, Ant from Atlanta, are the two players that probably give them the most chest pain during
for
games.
sure. That is funny for that. Yeah, they're awesome. I think they're two best coaches in basketball. I mean, top 5 at least, top 10. But so let's pivot to big picture, and we just kind of keep talking about like Valkyrie stuff, I guess. In between this, and kind of talk about how the matchup could be for this last 2 games. Hopefully, the Lynx can pull out in Golden State, but it's helpful that they have to not be in their home arena, which was an unfortunate situation for them, but could help us in a little bit. But it sounds like it's going to be sold out. Offensively, let's just break it down. Offense, defense. Offensively, being around the team for quite a while here, what are some things that you notice that are like points of emphasis that maybe you just pick up in whatever they say or what you've just seen, like either practices or in the games?
Yeah, I mean, this game, I think, or at least in this series, well, let's go this last game. I mean, Fee starts off the game, shoots the first 4 shots, and is just immediately looking to call her own number. I think that'll be something that trends throughout the series. I mean, Fee, unfortunately or unfortunately, only played 26 minutes tonight. So, I wouldn't assume that to happen again, where she's not even playing 30 minutes in one of these games because they're up by so much. But, the Lynx offense is so built on ball movement, whether it's the first pick and roll play where they either dump it into the post or they fade it out, or they dump it into like a Jess and a Lan who starts the passing and then they get players into rotation.
Mm-hmm.
It's just this fluid kind of entity. And I think we saw tonight or today against Golden State, Golden State obviously didn't want to give up a ton of threes.
Mm-hmm.
And what that resulted in is the Lynx just picking them apart on the roll, picking them apart off of back cuts, and kind of just fluidly going into this offense that was, quite frankly, looked like it was designed to beat the Warriors.
Yep.
I think the Warriors their comeback is probably to go a little bit more to their own like identity. I guess I would say the Valkyries, not the Warriors, excuse me. The Valkyries play the most zone defense in the league. That part of that is, you don't have the top end talent. So you're trying to like mask it with just disciplined zone play. They tried to do that a couple times tonight, and the Lynx just absolutely broke it within a couple plays. And then they had to throw that out the window.
Yeah.
So my guess is that they probably try to go back to that principle a little bit. So they're not giving up 44 points in the paint. But this Lynx team has, I mean, when Jessica Shepard, Alana Smith, Nafisa Collier are your post passers, it just doesn't really work to play a zone either. So it's going to be really interesting to see what the Valkyries try to do
Mm-hmm.
defensively to make this Lynx offense at least panic a little bit. I mean, the other thing they really tried to make an effort of like stopping Courtney Williams off of the pick and roll from getting to her mid-range spots. And you saw as soon as Natisha Heidemann went in, then she just has wide open lanes for layups because they just weren't able to shift their defense as fast as the Lynx can kind of flip the switch on offense when T goes in.
Mm-hmm.
So the other thing I'd say is it was really like in one way it was funny, and another way it was kind of like, oh man, this sucks, because Golden State Valkyries, their media members that were out here, were kind of feeling the same thing of like, I don't know what they can do to
Hmm.
stop the Lynx offense. And if the Lynx are locked in on defense, which I'm sure we'll get to next,
Yep.
what can the Valkyries even do other than just try and show up and, maybe they get hot?
Yeah. The Lynx really remind me of like an NBA comparison here, like the Thunder of this year,
Yeah.
where like offensively it's all just like read and react, and they have all their players are just very good at that, and just that fluid part of it. Like I have a hard time just watching basketball and just like because I've been coaching for like this is gonna be my ninth year coaching high school basketball, and like I watch everything now with like ooh, that's an interesting play call, or I see what they're
Mm-hmm.
doing here. I can't just sit there and just enjoy it. And so two things I noticed that they're throwing everything at the wall this game, which is usually game one. But like the one thing that caught my eye right away is how they're guarding that. When we come in transition, we love to do like this drag ball screen
Mm-hmm.
right away with like it's either Courtney and Fee or Courtney and Alana. Just like it's almost like they don't even set a screen. They just kind of cross and go.
Yep.
And they were just hard showing it, getting it. So Courtney had to like backpedal a little bit, and it just kind of threw off everything early on, and we were just kind of forcing stuff. The other thing, we like to run these like the down screen actions, and usually teams either just switch it or they go under it. But like you said, that they were trying to make sure that we didn't shoot threes. We were just They were just trailing them, and we were curling everything, getting to the paint. That's why we're getting so many things in the paint, and they're like looking at the side. Like I remember, McBride just comes off and gets like a couple, like it was almost like two or three wide open either looks or kickouts to somebody else, and they just have such a good. The good thing is they've been playing with each other for so long. Well, not so long, but like for the good chunk of
Two
time,
years.
2 years, yeah. Where
Yeah,
there's
it to your point, I mean, it's so interesting how their offense works because it is
yeah,
100% read and react. Like
yeah,
Cheryl, every play call that she has, it kind of has the initial pick and roll action, and then it has off ball stuff, whether it's people getting like pin down screens, people just like wheel routing up to the top.
hmm
There's just a ton of movement. It honestly like reminds me a lot of like the San Antonio offense of
oh
like
my
the
gosh.
2010s
I
because
wrote that down in my notes.
there's just so much movement at any given time, and then Courtney is just always pressing the action with that first pick and roll. I remember asking Cheryl about it kind of midway through the season of just like what would you do, like as a
Mhm.
defensive coach, what would you do? And she's like, well, you have two options. You can either double the ball handler, you can switch it, or you can double the big. And we have such good rollers that they're like hips flip so fast that they
Mhm.
get downhill so fast that a lot of teams opt to just, you know, either switch or double the roller, and then Courtney's wide open for a
Yep.
mid-range.
Yeah.
Then she's like, so a lot of teams will take someone from the corner and have them fly out to kind of pick up Courtney on the fly. But then, you know, Courtney can pocket pass it, whip it
Yep.
into the corner. That goes up to above the break, and then it's a three. So there's not really anything teams can do when this offense is clicking because it's just there isn't this like magnet ball where players are playing selfishly. There isn't this like they have like three or four different things they can go to on any play. And then they also have Nafisa Collier, who's just casually shooting 70% from the field and scoring 20 points.
Yeah. She's
So
like a
it's
robot. She just does not miss when she's open. It's even
no.
when she's not open, it's high percentage.
So it's just such a difficult place for the Valkyries to be in because I think they probably had a really good game plan
Yeah.
coming in of like, okay, we'll force them to take twos. We'll win the math battle by hopefully hitting enough threes, and maybe we can force the Lynx off their game. And it's just Cheryl, the staff, the players are so fast at picking it up.
Hmm.
I mean, even early in the first quarter, they were hitting Lan on these like dives to the rim, and Lan
Yeah.
was passing out of it. And you just kind of look at it of like, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know how you would stop it.
No. That's kind of I was in my notes as well as because I was just jotting down stuff throughout the season of like what I noticed and why I think like they're so much like the Thunder, so much like the Spurs, and it's you really can't do anything to stop it. The only thing that can stop them is themselves and
Yeah.
how it's like they're going to they know all the answers to the test, and it's just about whether or not they're going to be able to do that to answer it correctly every single time. Because they'll know if you're doubling, then I have this pass or I have this pass, and if you're switching, all right, now we're gonna just pass it into Fee, and Fee's gonna have a mismatch. Like I think I saw the Valkyrie try to do that in the second half, and I think there was like 2 or 3 fouls in a row where she just
Yeah.
posted somebody up and they can't do anything because it's just like, well, we're gonna give up our spot and she's gonna get to her area, and it's
It
when you
immediately gets blown up.
yeah
And
yeah
that's, I mean, when you're watching the game, and it sometimes this offense can just look so complicated, but really it's just there's either this or that for every decision. For Court, it's all right, there's a pick and roll. I'm going to shoot it, I'm going to pass it, or I'm going to drive and kind of swing it around. And that's it. Those are 3 choices. And then if it goes to Jess, it's okay, I'm going to swing it out to the corner to hit a wing, or I'm going to do like a drop step. And it's just so interesting to watch it. Just when it clicks into gear, it really looks just unstoppable. And it's a credit to honestly to Cheryl for kind of finding all of these players that fit perfectly. It's a
that's the
credit
key.
to the players, because I think I talk about K-Mac all the time I mean, she could score 20 points a night if she really wanted to. And she doesn't. She knows her role and she stays in it. So it's really just this masterclass of like roster building as well that's got him here. Now it's just, like you said, they do have games where they kind of beat themselves, or the shots go cold, or the decision making isn't as fast. I mean, I'd be hard pressed to think that's going to happen 4 times in a 7-game series, but it does kind of come down to now just the Lynx need to execute, and hopefully the offense stays strong through the playoffs.
Yeah, no.
And how like from like a standpoint of being like OKC or the Lynx, having the whereabouts as a organization to build that, to be able to run an offense like that, because I don't think like the Timberwolves can't run an OKC style offense that they run. And you guys are, when you talk about how, well, you either have to do this or do this, and neither one's a great option, and you just hope that they get in their own way. It doesn't really apply to a lot of teams in the NBA or the WNBA. So how has Cheryl and her staff and just the overall organization of the Lynx helped build that over the past like 4 or 5 years? I would assume 5 years. Usually that's how long that process takes to not only find the right players, but have them buy into the coaching staff and, create the vibes that they do that leads them to being the number 1 team in the WNBA. Like can you like touch on that and like how that process has gone?
Yeah. So for Cheryl, I don't think it was that long of a process, to be honest. 2020, they come out and kind of surprise some people in the wobble, as it was called. 2021, they kind of claw and scratch and get a playoff spot. Fee misses 2022 with the birth of Maya. And then 2023, Cheryl kind of credits of like, they started to see something from Fee that was like, okay, this person, like when they were making that playoff run and clawing to get into that Mercury season, Fee showed her something that's just, okay, this is someone we can build a roster around. And really is this 2024. So last season, before the season, they go out and they get Alana Smith because they know they need a floor stretching big that can free up the block for Fee. They go and they get Courtney Williams because they know they need like a mid-range specialist that can kind of thrive in these weird spots on the floor, but also is a really capable pick and roll ball handler for somebody who hasn't played. They get Natisha Heidemann almost as like a security blanket of like, all right, if Courtney Williams is terrible, we still have a WNBA finals starting point guard, Natisha Heidemann, that we can play. And then I think last season, they really changed almost a lot of their sets to just be Fee. Like, this is what we are going to do. We are going to build around Fee. We're going to make everything revolve around Fee. And it just kind of worked out that, like, you thinking back to early last season, Diamond Miller was expected to be the starting small forward. She gets hurt. and Bridget Carleton kind of ascends to this like defensive ace, 40% 3-point shooter that can spread the floor and just play within her role. Kayla McBride, you know, she's been here for 4 or 5 years now, fits in great with Fee, kind of knows her role as spacing. She's going to get her opportunities. Courtney and Fee just kind of immediately click on pick and rolls. And a lot of that is because they signed Alana Smith from Chicago, who played with Courtney in Chicago. And Smith was able to kind of tell Fee, like, hey, this is what Courtney likes to do. Keep your head up at this point. Like, let's make sure that this works. And then this last offseason, they get Jessica Shepard back, who played with Fee for 5 years, I believe, before she took 2024 off. And that's kind of all it needed. It was really a pretty quick pivot from just the end of 2023, realizing that Fee was that new cornerstone. And then Cheryl just, I mean, if anything, she's pretty cutthroat. I mean, she went out, got a new center, got a new point guard. Diamond gets hurt. She doesn't hesitate to elevate Bridget Carleton. Natisha Heidemann, you're our new backup point guard, and let's go. The kind of icing on the cake this season was getting Dejanay Carrington, who again fits that mold. She's not going to complain for shots. She's not going to like complain for having to play hard on defense. And you know, I think the Lynx are also just, you know, when Nafisa Collier's your best player and like your franchise cornerstone, and she also never complains. She also never, you know, complains about coaching, complains about shot attempts. She's always kind of just this like really calm, cool, collected figure. She's not very like outspoken. She doesn't trash talk a ton. Cheryl can come down on her and Fee just kind of nods at like you said, a robot, and then goes out there and does Fee stuff. It makes that culture just so much easier to jump into. And part of the thing that I think has been like fascinating being around the team this year, especially, is, you know, Simone Augustus comes back to have her Hall of Fame patch added to the jersey in the rafters. And I got to talk to her a little bit, and she's like, the thing that surprises me the most is they do the same chants, the same cheers, the same break in the huddle, the same drills, everything from when she and Sylvia Fowles were there.
Mm-hmm.
And they were the vets when Fee was a rookie. So Fee took what they told her, took how they kind of trained her into Lynx culture, and is now doing the exact same thing for Ola and for Jalen Sherrod and the end of the bench here. So I do agree with you, though. It's really hard to just on the fly put together a team that's so efficient, because you look over at the Wolves side of things, and you know, Ant also is receptive to hard coaching. Ant is also a pretty, you know, outside of social media clips, a pretty humble guy. He does what he's told. He works his tail off. And the Wolves really can't do a lot of the stuff that the Lynx would be doing, because they just, you know, don't have the processing speed, or they don't have kind of the discipline to wait until the last second for those passes, or stay with their person instead of helping inside. And it is interesting what the Lynx have built.
Yeah. I think too with that is like the way offense is nowadays, and both the NBA and WNBA, is a lot of the teams, they run kind of the same stuff. It's like that European, it came from Europe, the European like 5-out flow into another thing, the screen into a screen, off ball screens, off ball actions, where for a while in the NBA it was just 4-out. If I can't break my guy down, then I'm going to pass it. And then if they can't pick, and it's just pick and rolls. It's advanced so much. But the key is, like, the Lynx are incredible at, like, making that decision off of that. And, like, the Wolves, they don't really need to, because they have Ant. And so, like, you get the ball to Ant and kind of just, let's see what the defense does, and then we'll find openings there. But they do kind of run some of the same stuff, just not as efficient as the Lynx are. And it goes down to, like we were talking about, Andrew, with the fact that it's like the unselfishness gelling when you have your number one player who loves to pass and play make, and very much is like part of that UConn culture, where coming from that's a huge part of it. But I think we want to pivot to defense here a little bit.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because it's like that's kind of like their calling card a little bit, even though they were like the number one offense and number one
Yep.
defense. It's just they are absolute straitjacket, and this is why I think it's so much like the Thunder in the fact that they play the same exact way, where they are huge gap help, and they're just sitting in that gap, and they're athletic enough and good at reading when the kickouts happen to fly out. Interesting matchup though against the Valkyries. You saw in the first quarter, like if you're not quick enough out to close out, they're casting. And they shot the 30. I think it was like I saw the stat on ESPN. They said 38% of their points come from 3-pointers, and so it was interesting to see after the first quarter how that changed. But what are your thoughts overall defense? I guess the same question. Like, what are some of the emphases that you see seen
There
around
we
the
go.
team this year? Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, Golden State is a really good comp. The Lynx,
Yep.
they have this really kind of weird one. I'll say they don't play zone defense. I think a lot of people that watch the Lynx think that they play this like hybrid zone. They really don't. They just have so much trust in their ability to like get back. And Cheryl trusts everybody to kind of be a free safety. I mean, everyone on this team has kind of the green light to try and make a play if they feel like it's there, which for some teams that ends terribly. I mean,
yeah,
you think of whenever I'm thinking about it or this specific thing, I always think of like Anthony Edwards going for the steal on Ja Morant in that
yep,
playoff series where
Oh,
he just gets killed for a layup and it's over. The Lynx have that same trust in their players, but I think where they really shine is everyone on this team can guard 1 through 5. I mean, unless it's like Brittany Griner on Natisha Heidemann, they kind of live with anyone having to rotate into guarding somebody. So there's never this like mass scramble to kind of get back to their own matchups. The other thing is they try and funnel everything into land. So like if somebody gets beat on a pick and roll, the whole defense kind of shifts to make them go into land, but it's really, again, this is a credit to Cheryl. Like, it's not like a Rudy Gobert funnel it into Rudy, make everyone do straight line drives. The Lynx tend to try and get beat to the outside and then funnel it down the baseline for land to kind of get like weak side blocks. So there's never like these straight in dives. It's always these weird angles they get beat at, which then makes it just harder to try and get something off the glass or get a floater, harder to see passing lanes when you're going in on baseline or in from a wing. And it all is because of land. I mean, Cheryl says it pretty often the last couple of years that land is the reason they're the Lynx on defense. And it really is true. Like, she is so good at getting deflections. She's so good at gambling. She's so good at getting weak side blocks or getting jump balls. And because she's so good at that, it allows them to run this weird offense that never really, or this weird defense that never really lets people get these straight line dives at the rim. Now for Golden State, unfortunately, they don't really have anyone other than like Veronica Burton and Chechi Zandalazini who can get space. Like, no one else is a real dynamic dribbler that can like get space in the mid range or get to the rim. So a lot of their offense is just kind of passing it around the perimeter until a 3-pointer opens up and then they just heave it.
Yeah.
So it's really difficult to see a world where they win game 2 just because they would need to just make 60% of their threes and shoot 35 threes in a game, which, you know, Cheryl in the post-game press conference said, like, we know what they're going to do. Like, they're going to shoot threes. So we just can't help off of it as much. And we got to make sure those aren't getting clean looks. And you kind of saw going into the second quarter, they refocused and nothing was open. The other thing, they forced Veronica Burton into 7 turnovers. She averages like 2.5 a game. And a lot of that was just the Lynx realized she's the only real threat as a ball handler. So if she's bringing the ball up past half court, they sick K-Mac or Bridget or Dejanay or Courtney at her and just make her life miserable from the second she gets the ball, which I think further rounds of the playoffs, when teams have more options and different things to go to, that obviously isn't going to be the same game plan. But for Golden State, it just kind of seems like they just ratcheted up the pressure on Veronica and then kind of refocused in to take away anything from beyond the arc, which again, like if they had different kind of things they could go to, I think the obvious answer is like, okay, do pick and rolls and just pressure the rim a ton. But the Valkyries just don't have a lot of ball handlers. I mean, the benefit of being an expansion team is you have essentially 10 players that are like sixth man of the year candidates. The downside is a lot of those players don't have the just pure ability to get to the rim. So again, it's kind of a bittersweet ending to a Golden State series because they made the playoffs. I think drawing the Lynx was probably the worst case scenario for their team, though, because I mean, zone heavy and a lot of threes is something that Cheryl can just kind of scheme for, and this team can just eat up.
It helps having five. Even everyone on the bench can guard 1 through 5 if they get matched up. I mean, maybe tease a little bit of a mismatch if in a post situation, but
she tries.
Yeah,
though.
she tries though. She tries really hard, and that's the key. That's the key in that. I saw one action that they ran twice at the end of the quarters, like a reverse Spain pick and roll where they set that the other post sets a down screen for that post, and then they go up into a ball screen to try to just kind of get it so the wolves, the Lynx aren't all.
I do it all the time. It's fine.
It's
when
so
the
hard
Gophers start, it'll be even worse.
And they're kind of so packed in, like people say that it looks like a zone almost. There's so much protecting that paint from straight line middle drives. They don't want middle, so they're like, well, we want to get to the middle because they don't want the middle, but they're making us go baseline, so we got to do some sort of action. So that might be something that because they did hit on it twice, but they kind of never really went back to it. I guess you can't run the same thing over and over and over again, but
it's just so hard. Like it's just this Lynx team, like, and I always apologize for like sounding like a homer, but right,
yeah.
but like they are the best defense in the league.
Yeah.
And they're the best defense in the league because they do stuff like that where it's like you have to you might get one play to work and then you can either run that until it doesn't work or you put it in your back pocket and like hope it works in a crucial spot. That's kind of the balance, because if they do run that too much, then Cheryl's just going to scheme for it and that won't work anymore and you got to figure something else out. It's again, it's just this Lynx team is just built so perfectly to handle these type of situations. And it's just going to be kind of a rough way for the Valkyrie season to end. Cause
Yeah.
I wish I had answers. I just don't know what they could really do.
Yeah, that is truly the case. And I think the one kryptonite like style of team that can kind of hurt our defense is I remember the dream with Griner, like a really big and super skilled big and physical big is our kryptonite. And Alana like holds her own. She works her butt off and is able to block a lot of shots, but that rebounding factor is something that the Lynx, when we did see them lose earlier in the year, was like that was a big part of it, is like getting those, not giving up so many rebounds. But the guards are doing so much better at helping rebound. Courtney's a sneakily great rebounder. And so it'll be interesting to see like the future matchups here. Like, who do you think is probably going to give, besides the Aces, maybe on the other side, or the Storm potentially? They already kind of gave us a tough one. Who would, between the Fever and we don't want to look too far ahead here, I guess, but the Dream scares me for some reason. Like, with the grind, with the
it's the Dream
post.
for me.
Yeah.
Even like Las Vegas, I'll be honest, like it's really hard for me to forget that they were a 14-14 team at one point this season.
Yeah.
And I mean, Asia has been playing out of her mind, but this Aces team doesn't have the same talent that they've had in different years. So like the Aces, could Asia win 2 games by herself? Probably. How do they win the other 2? That's where I run into issues kind of picking them. Atlanta is the team that worries me. They shoot a ton of threes. They are the number 2 offense, number 2 defense. Brittany Griner is a mountain of a human being that offensive rebounds really well. And when she's motivated, she's a different player. And I think at times this season, you know, she's a little further along in her career, is maybe she took the foot off the gas a little bit and looked human. I kind of anticipate playoff Brittany Griner is going to be the future Hall of Famer that we think she is. And then they just shoot a ton of threes. So if you're looking at a team that could upset the Lynx, you know, you win a game because you get 15 offensive rebounds, you win another game because you shoot 55% from 3, you win a third game because Brittany goes off or they get a bunch of paint points, and then it's a 7-game series. I think the I guess the hesitation I have of like, you know, Atlanta could really, like, if it's Atlanta and Lynx in the finals, the Lynx are going to be a heavy favorite. And that's because their offense picks teams like Atlanta apart. When you don't have a center that can get out there fast enough to contest Alana Smith or Fee, they're just going to bomb threes away. It's almost like the same problem the Wolves had with Rudy Gobert and Utah had with Rudy Gobert of, you know, yes, the paint defense is going to be superb. Yes, they're going to be able to kind of stand up to the Lynx pick and rolls and drives, but at some point they're just going to start scheming corner threes. And is Brittany going to be able to get out there fast enough to contest them? And if she isn't, if the Lynx hit enough of them, the series is just kind of over. That's probably the one, though, I think they have the biggest chance of losing. Next round, Phoenix or New York. It sounds like Breanna Stewart went down with a leg injury and didn't come back. So if they're down Stewart for the rest of the playoffs, that's changes a lot of things for that matchup. Phoenix is just a weird team. A lot runs through Alyssa Thomas, and they're going to have Nafisa Collier to guard her every night. So the Lynx are kind of built to make that series really difficult too. So yeah, again, to reemphasize, I'd say it's Atlanta, but I kind of been saying on other appearances I've done is just, I would still take the Lynx over the field. I think by a pretty big margin, just because this team is, they showed enough today where it's like, oh yeah, they're locked back in.
One more kind of random question, I guess. We have an ongoing debate on Sideline Vibes here about the face of the league, the true face of the league. And I don't know if you've heard, a lot of people think Caitlin Clark is the face of the league, which I don't know. Yes. I think Fee is, because I just think she's a great ambassador all around, incredible person, and I think the best player in the league. Did she get robbed of an MVP?
I'll pivot and I'll say I think Cheryl Reeve is getting robbed from Coach of the Year.
There we go. Even they both get robbed.
Yeah, I think Cheryl's probably going to miss out on a Coach of the Year award, despite having one of the best years in league history from like an analytical standpoint, wins and every statistic. Fee, I think Fee is going to get penalized by a lot of the voters because she missed 11 games, which if you miss 11 games, that's 25% of the season. You're not out there.
Yeah.
Now, if the Lynx didn't have a 10-game lead for the 1 seed, Fee probably only misses 6 or 7 games, and then there isn't that argument, and she wins the MVP. I think it's going to be close. I'll be honest. I still think Fee is going to win it. I mean, from the ballots that I've been seeing floating around out there from some of the writers that vote, it seems like Fee is getting a lot of votes.
Good. That's good. I was worried. I was seeing stuff today, and I was like, I'm scared. I feel like
that being said, though, the people that have voted for Asia, that's kind of the biggest knock against Fee is you miss 25% of the season. And again, it's unfortunate because she misses the second to the last game of the season because the Lynx have nothing to play for. She misses an extra couple of days with the ankle injury because why bring her back if there's nothing to play for? It'd be unfortunate if she misses out on it. I mean, kind of statistically the best analytical season in the history of the sport. 21st player to be 20 points per game, 50%, 40, and 90 from the field, 3-point and free throw line. She was the defensive player of the year last year, that up until the very last day of the season was leading the WNBA in scoring. I think she deserves it, but at the same time, the MVP award in the W has traditionally gone to someone that's played 90% of the games in a season. It does kind of check out if they give it to Asia, who played, I guess, what would it be? An extra 6 games more than Fee. That, and again, she drug that Aces team to the playoffs. I mean, they have no business being a 2 or a 3 seed, but here they are. I do think Alana Smith, though, on a positive note, I do think she's going to win Defensive Player of the Year pretty handily.
That'd be good. I would just love us for the sweep. We can't have it all though. I'd rather have a title than these MVPs. Yeah. I'm sure they would all say the same thing too, but we just with our ongoing.
Fee doesn't sit that second to the last game of the season without a conversation being had of like, hey, Absolutely. You sitting this game might cost you that MVP. And by the fact she sat, I would assume she said that's fine. I think Natisha Heidemann and Shepard have a good shot at the 6th player of the year. I mean, if I was doing a ballot, and there is a little bias because I'm around this team multiple times a week, it would probably be everyone except for most improved would be going to the Lynx. Because I mean, it's hard for me to justify penalizing a team for being too good.
Exactly. Yeah. What are we doing?
I mean, that's kind of what it turned into was, did the Lynx slip a little bit? Their defense isn't looking that good. And it's like, well, they have a 9-game lead for the 1 seed with 11 games left. Maybe they just don't want to play as hard.
Sure. If Cheryl not getting the Coach of the Year, that's actually a crime. She's easily the best coach in the. But like, yeah, I mean, we obviously we close the book on I think Fee's face of the league. That's just my.
Oh, I didn't even answer your question. Face of the league. I think people that watch the WNBA consider Fee the face of the league. I mean, she's high up in the players union. She's very outspoken on like social justice issues. A lot of players follow her lead when she speaks up on certain things. Other players kind of feel confident enough to do that. If you are not, like, if you're someone who is just, you didn't want to watch any of the noon football games today and you were just flipping on the WNBA to watch the WNBA, an outsider's opinion probably thinks it's either Asia or Caitlin Clark, just by the amount of like sheer volume of ads that the WNBA pushes out of them. But that's like one of those weird Minnesota things where it's like, it always kind of seems that way with the Vikings, right? Where they're never really considered to be a Super Bowl favorites, or the Twins back when they were in the mid 2000s making noise and they weren't really getting their respect. Like, I do think there is something to like playing in Minnesota. You go a little under the radar. Whereas if you're in Las Vegas, they're pushing you. You've won multiple championships. And if you're Caitlin Clark, you kind of brought in this massive swath of fans that honestly live and die by what she does. But I think if you were to like poll the players and like the GMs and coaches, they would probably side with Fee being more of that face than anyone else.
Yeah.
What's really cool with the W though is like, there's so many really good players and they're all generally pretty on the right page of like history. Asia's really good person, really good role model. Caitlin Clark, regardless of what you think of her, like on the court play, she is like a good human being. She's genuinely like always polite, nice, good role model. Even like Paige down in Dallas, I think is someone that is going to have a massive following in the near future. So it's a good time to get into the WNBA.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was getting absolutely roasted in one of my group chats today because I was watching Lynx basketball over the Bears and the Lions, and I told him, like, hey, both those teams, they stink. He's a big Bears fan, and it was not a good game. It was
Sorry.
more fun to watch the Lynx, and that's what I was trying to tell him. Like, watch the Lynx. They're the hot commodity right now. But do you have any last questions here?
No, I think it's super, super awesome what you do, and you being able to like incorporate video into what you're doing. I think that's a clear cut edge. I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
Appreciate that. That's honestly, when I started doing this, I felt the same way. I was like, man, I just wish people would do this. So it pays off that a lot of people like me also wished people would do that. So
yeah.
Appreciate it.
Well, again, thank you, Andrew, for taking time. You're probably significantly more busy than you lead on to be for this, and you at least want to have some time to yourself, and you took time to talk to these two guys from Marshall in the middle of nowhere about some Lynx basketball. So I appreciate you taking some time to chat with us, and yeah, go Lynx. Let's
go Lynx. My pleasure. And I'll say that's, I remember, what was it, like 3 months ago, getting tagged in a random video that I so I'm always here to pay it back. If you guys ever need a guest, if you ever want to talk hoops, I'm always around.
Absolutely. I'd love to. I could talk all day about it. We could have gone on for like 4 hours here. So just so you know, but I won't keep you too long. We'll see you at the championship parade. That's what we're going to do.
Pink hair? Will. Are you guys dyeing your hair pink?
I will dye my hair pink if anyone. Maybe. Oh yeah, might do like a fee, just like a strip of hair down the middle. That'd be kind of fun.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. You gonna dye your hair pink?
Check with the wife first. Don't get in trouble.
Probably should.
That's all I'll advise.
Yeah. That's probably a good idea. Well, thanks again. Have a good night.
Of course. Anytime. Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right. State of the state time. It is September 14th at 10:37 p.m.
It's a late one.
A late one here, but we wanted to get the end of the Vikings game just to see kind of how it ended. We actually started a little bit before the final whistle.
Yeah.
Too much of a grin of you and Bailey.
Yeah. I can't. It's hard to celebrate a Vikings loss when the Bears lose 52-21 or whatever it was.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that too much, but
yeah,
I mean,
it just
whose vibes are worse? Whose vibes are worse after this loss? Definitely the Bears, I'd say. So,
yeah, definitely the Bears.
Vikings fans, you have something to be happy that you didn't lose by
30
something. So
yeah.
And give up 51 points to a division rival. That's never a good thing. But yeah, Vikings offense looked a little rough.
It was tough. It was watching the game. I think what the Vikings suffered from was a lot of injuries and their young offensive line, and just not even young, just beat up offensive line. And the running attack on the Falcons is insane.
Oh my gosh.
Bijan Robinson is an amazing running back. You don't realize how amazing he is until you see him make 3 guys miss by stutter stepping 2 and juking out the 3rd. It's just insane.
Let's see. I'm looking at the team stats. Sorry. I just saw a stat before we stopped watching. I knew it was over when I saw this with like 3 minutes left. Not even. It was right when they scored. Basically, that last touchdown is when we started recording because you just want to get a little bit head start on it. But he had more yards.
More total. Offensive rushing yard, or more total yards than the Vikings had offensive yards for one player.
Yeah,
and I think for Atlanta to come in on a Sunday night primetime game, at the ship in the harbor, and just kind of
the ship in the harbor,
kind of just lay it down on the Vikings, and just it was not good.
No. I would say this is a game that we're going to look back and be like, wow, how did we lose this game? Oh, yeah, we had a lot of guys out. And when you lose your center, very underrated part of football is center play. And if you lose that center, especially halfway through the game, your timing gets timing gets off. Everything's just kind of thrown out of
especially
whack,
with a young quarterback like McCarthy. Not saying it's his fault, but
No.
when you're working with a young quarterback and your center, who's supposed to be your kind of leader behind the leader, second command really,
Sure.
goes down, and you got to bring the backup in for that. It's just not going to bode well.
Yeah.
And last week, the first 3 quarters of the Vikings-Bears game was not great for the Vikings.
No.
I think that fourth quarter comeback and
we played one good quarter of football.
Yeah.
In 2 games.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah. Turnovers are big. And that's kind of going to be the times where we lose games this season because our defense is, I still think, really good. Top 5 defense. Even today, like I know we gave up 22, but it was 9 to for a long time. They scored those 10 points in the fourth quarter. But
yeah,
I think our defense is going to always have us in games. If we can not turn the ball over, we should be in games or win most of the games.
I wouldn't say even McCarthy's interceptions were, like costly. Yes, they're never good, right? But it didn't lead to like this huge momentum shift at the end of the game where it's like, oh, Falcons are only leading by 1 score. McCarthy throws a pick, they come back and like seal the game, right? It was he threw those 2 picks when you guys were still in it and you had a lot of time left.
The play that kind of killed us, we just got a huge stop kind of down on their end and we get a fumble. First, second play, and it was I think
I think that was
kind of the straw.
Also,
straw breaking.
Yeah, just looking at the stats here, like Jefferson only having 3 receptions.
Yeah,
he's your guy. Like
we're just a little off. Everything's a little off.
Yeah,
and again, I'd be panicking a little bit if we were full steam, full roster, everyone's healthy.
Yeah.
You're never going to have that, but I feel like the positions that we have, guys that are injured or getting hurt during the game, that's just kind of tough spots. Like center, you can't lose that center.
Right. Well, I think...
Especially with a rookie quarterback, basically.
And I'm not trying to be more doom and gloom on the Vikes, but I think a lot of teams where they shine and they make those deep playoff runs or those Super Bowl appearances is when they overcome these type of injuries and don't allow it to let them lose games.
Yeah.
And it's pretty early on in the season, so the Vikes can still recover from this. And I don't know who are the Vikings playing next week.
We play the Bengals, so
but no Joe Burrow. So.
No Joe Burrow, he's gonna be out. But Browning's probably the best backup quarterback in the league.
Really, that's a hot take.
No, not a hot take. Go back and look at his games that he plays for the Bengals. He's really good for them. And we saw it today, and they were able to come from behind and win.
Yeah,
they're 2-0 team. 2-0 team. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. But no Burrow makes it a little bit more of a
achievable game.
It's gonna be a work of progress this year, and I still am so high on them. I'm still so high on them because I really do truly believe in McCarthy, and so if this is going to be one of his worst games, I'm glad it happened now with what you're seeing
instead of later on in the season, last game to clinch the division.
Yeah, early on, I like to see what the vibes are.
Yeah,
what the vibes are like. How are we responding? They didn't give up. They didn't. You saw some teams give up today, so.
I was gonna say you guys fought for 3 quarters on defense. You only allowed 12 points, and those are all from field goals.
Yeah,
no touchdowns. It was only in the last.
Like to put it in perspective, like Bijan Robinson had 143 rushing yards, and only they scored a touchdown.
Yeah, that was I think he got the last.
And that was like kind of a garbage time touchdown, honestly.
A little bit.
He earned it. But it's kind of like he had to fight for those touchdowns down the stretch. But like bend not break is the motto there. But
and the defense, to credit to the Vikings defense, they looked good. Like you got after Penix quite often.
No Ginkle again. No Ginkle. No Smith. I think those 2 guys are. And Cashman being out is huge. Losing your middle linebackers, like losing your center on the defense, especially halfway through the game. Last game, obviously you saw that we were able to pull it out, but against good. I think the Falcons are going to be pretty good. I don't know. It sounds like you're making a lot of excuses, but you kind of can't tell this early on.
No.
Because you really haven't seen. Well, this is a game that you look back and you go, okay, that was a bad loss, or that was a good loss.
Yeah.
I hate to say that, but it is what it is. Like, you kind of just have to move on. Bad luck with the injury stuff.
Yeah.
Didn't help ourselves out with turnovers.
Yeah.
Moving on to the Bengals.
I was saying, you could be the Chiefs, be 0-2, or the Bears 0-2.
Yeah, you got to win against your division opponents. You got to get those wins against division opponents. So,
yeah.
Ready for Twins Bear Necessities?
Look for the Bear Necessities, because the Twins don't have a lot of them.
We're gonna get copywritten.
Yeah, it just means I'm a great singer.
Oh yeah, let's look up the Twins here. Twins are 65-84. They had a game against the Diamondbacks today. Lost 6-4. Really, again, we're just kind of we're competing.
Yeah.
There's some competition. Younger guys are getting a chance, and we got guys. We already talked about Chriselle quite a bit. Jenkins moving up to AAA. He's on his way, guys. He's on his way. He could be our savior. He could be our Anthony Edwards. So we need
maybe for
Royce Lewis might be. But I don't know.
I think it's a next season grab.
Well, I guess some silver linings. We have a guy named Roger Clemens Jr. No, just kidding. His name's Cody Clemens, but he's Roger Clemens' son. Did you know that?
I did not.
No, he's on the Twins right now. He was part of the trade to the Phillies for Duran. But he's lighting up. He had 3 home run game, like beginning of end of last week. Yeah, he's kind of. I mean, we got some hot bats right now with some of our younger guys, but not really much going on besides what we're looking at. Remember, Buxton update. That elusive 30-30 club. Right now, he's at 31 home runs, 22 steals as of last time I checked here on Sunday.
Okay.
We'll follow that. How many games do the Twins have left? Remaining games. Google Gemini.
I failed this.
Not helping at all. Are the Twins out of the playoffs? Yes, they're out of the playoffs.
Oh,
yeah. They lost contention September 13th. So, yeah.
Unsafe.
Eliminated. Yeah. Okay, how many games do we have left? How much is a hot dog at a Twins game? About $4.10.
Well, you can find them for $1 on the dollar a dog Tuesday.
Yeah. Why is the Twins attendance so low? Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't need to dive into that again.
Yeah, we know why that is.
Okay, can we get us a freaking thing, Google Gemini? 13 games left. 13 games left as of Sunday night. Yeah, he has to get 8 steals in 13 games. All right, yep. Still at 22 stolen bases, so he's 8 away, 13 games left. He needs to start hammering down, though, because I feel like he's been at that 22 mark for a little bit. So I'm a little bit worried, but it'd be really fun to get him to that 30-30. Give us something to cheer for.
Yeah, I think that's what we cheer for going out of the playoffs. Let's just get Buxton as 30 for 30-30.
That's all I want to talk about. Twins.
Oh, that's fine. We can move on.
We can talk about hot dogs a little bit more. I love hot dogs. Okay.
No, I mean, I do love hot dogs too, but yeah.
Oh.
Derek, the other one was better. There we go.
No reaction from Kevin. More about Kevin later. Loon time here. Wonder Ball.
Wonderful. That was terrible.
Keep that in.
Oy.
Chat. Roast them in the chat. I think it's Wonder Ball. We're gonna get copy rid.
No.
Roaded.
No.
Ridded.
I did the Bear Necessities. You did Wonderwall.
I think it's under 30 seconds, so I think we're good. We just can't keep adding these up.
Yeah.
We have a little bit more time. Anyways, Loons, big win Saturday night. Huge over San Diego, who was in first place. Loons are 15-6-9. They are second in the Western Conference, still tied for 4th overall. 54 points, 2 down from the leader San Diego. That means if San Diego loses a game and we win a game, we will be in first place in the Western Conference.
Because we'll take the tiebreaker with them, right?
Well, it's 3 points. So we go ahead of them.
Yep.
And we potentially could be the number 1. So there's a couple games left here in September, and then we have October, a couple games as well, including the U.S. Cup. We'll talk more about that in a second. San Diego game, 0-0 at half. It was a defensive battle. Loons. This is the first Loons game I watched the entire thing. Dang. Because I haven't been able to like really get to watch the whole games because they either have something going on or we just didn't have the MLS pass until recently. Yeah. And so we 0-0. I gotta say, Apple TV, MLS coverage is great.
Really?
Really crisp presentation. Announcers were awesome. Yeah, I mean, no complaints. I enjoyed it. I had a great watching experience. Crowd was great for San Diego.
Really?
Yes, great.
They came out.
They came out. They were loud the whole time. It felt like very European. Watched a lot of Wrexham, and so it felt much like a championship Premier League crowd level. It felt like a playoff game, is what the announcers kept saying, which was fun.
I mean, it potentially will be.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it could be a playoff matchup. The Loons, we played we packed it in, as they say, where we had 5 defenders. We went with a 5-4-1 lineup here. So we were 5 guys back, 4 middle, 1 striker.
Jeez.
Yep. And then on the flip side, San Diego was, I think, 3-4-4. So they were
up,
and we were back, and led to a big 0-0 halftime. Yeah. But it was good. It was a good half. I would say San Diego kind of put a lot of pressure on us early. I think they put a stat up with like time of possession or touches, and we were at halftime. We were lucky. The only reason we were truly in this game is because our boy St. Clair, goalkeeper, he was phenomenal in the first half and the whole game. But the first half, he's the reason why we won. He had 3 crucial saves. I thought that would really saved us from.
They were able to shoot with us having 5 back.
Yeah, they were doing everything they could. They were playing good offense. We were kind of making some dumb mistakes, I'd say, early on. But St. Clair held the fort down, as they say. Awesome first half. Second half, very intense to start. Then we get a corner and then our boy Anthony Markinek. We talked about him on the episode a couple of days ago, or weeks ago, I should say. He nets in a goal from a corner from Joaquin Pereira, who's kind of like our best player, but he's kind of like a middle. He's not a striker, so he's like our best midfielder. Mm-hmm. Awesome pass across, and Markinek's known for just kind of being always in the spots, and it was huge. 1-0, and then the floodgates open, and we ended up scoring another one fairly quickly in like 20 seconds, and then. Not 20 seconds, like less than a minute. And then we end up hitting... They're playing really aggressive now. They're sending everybody up.
Right. Well, when you're down 2-0...
You have to. They have to get some points. But they got a little too risky. And Trianis gets the ball, subbed in halfway through the game, or towards the end of the game, gets the ball at the midfield line, and he sees the goaltender's really far up, kicks it all the way over. It was like Rocket League. All the way over the goaltender's head from half court in. You got to look it up.
Let's watch God, that's insane, dude.
So, goalie kicks it up. Little steal here. And Rocket League.
Oh, wow.
That was fun. So that was fun. That was a fun moment. And that was like... Gosh, this game started at 9:30. So
AM or PM?
PM.
Oh.
So I was up pretty... At that point, I was like... It was like midnight. I'm trying not to wake Bailey up. And I was just like, oh! But then... So I was hoping... Because it's a huge thing in soccer to have the goal differential. Like, your goal differential is the tiebreaker. Mm-hmm. And so we ended up giving like a goal up after added time... kind of on some stupid stuff. So hopefully it doesn't come back to bite us, because we did eventually have the better goal at differential before they scored the last goal to make it 3-1. So now we're tied with goal differential. in that category. So hopefully we don't end up in a tiebreaker and feel like we gave one up on something. Shouldn't have, yeah. So, anyways, next game is going to be the U.S. Open Cup semifinals. First time the Loons have made it to that. It's going to be against Austin. It's going to be on Wednesday, September 17th. This episode hopefully is out before then. It's going to be. So tune in. You'll be able to watch that. It's going to be on CBS Sports, I believe, if you have Hulu. And it's going to be on Paramount. If you have Paramount, you'll be able to watch it for free. Not have to buy anything extra for that. So
nice.
Tune into that. If you haven't watched any Loons Ball, Wonder Ball, check it out. Forgot I did do it right. Edit that in. Keep that in.
Okay.
Just chugging some water.
Slurping it down.
My whistle's wet. All right, Wolves Crunch Time Report, just a little one. Speaking of Twins not performing very well. Oh. I was going to do it. I was going to do my Loon call again, but that would have thrown everything off. The Loons would have got brought into the prey zone. Predator zone. Oh, hi there. Hi, you're sneaking up here. Okay. Did you see that video of Ant hitting a home run?
I didn't. Yes, I did actually.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was.
Like Kevin. The little sneak peek to Kevin there. So Ant's just hitting bombs. He really, truly can do anything he wants. Like, everyone was making fun of him. I remember when he was like a rookie and he's telling Marty Gellner, like, any sport, I'm going to dominate. And I'd think
love
he
to
could.
see him be a corner against Jefferson.
I would like to see it. Like, there should be, like Shaq did Shaq versus,
Yeah.
which was a great show. They can't bring it back now, but like,
why not?
he's too old.
It's still
He was
funny.
still kind of like he was playing, so it was like, or close to retiring. But like, it would be funny because that was a good show. Ant should actually take that over. Ant versus right now.
And you have a little ant like crawling up the big old, like instead of an ant hill, it's like climbing up Mount Everest.
Yes, that'd be great. He just takes on different professional athletes in their sport.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, he hits a home run. Twins should sign him to at least a 10-day contract. Why not? Like, why not?
you're in the playoffs.
You have a month left. Like, just sign him to. Like, he's not doing anything.
They're not gonna do that. Too much money.
I got too much money. So, yeah, my bad. Sorry.
Huh?
A little bit of Puckhead news.
Yeah.
Wild.
They're getting wild.
Yeah, they're getting wild. They're offering Kirill the biggest contract in NHL history. He declines it. And so that's kind of where I left off in that. I haven't really looked much else up into that yet. Because when I heard this news, there wasn't really much coming from either camp. It'd be interesting to see what happens with that.
Mm-hmm.
That might be, is this a bargaining chip? Like, does he not want to sign unless we go and get something good? Or is it kind of like maybe he thinks they can get more? It's always like a lot of questions with that. Like, you worry if they're like, I don't want to be here for 8 years is what I think the contract was.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why Minnesota's a state of hockey.
Yeah, but we have not been great since he's been on the team. It's not his fault. He's just, but those Russians. No comment. Here.
What do you want me to say about the Russians?
Yeah, well, I don't want to say too much. I'm just saying, I was just saying, those Russians.
They're Russian.
They're Russian. Yeah, they're not Russian to sign a new contract, that's for sure.
Hey.
Krill, please sign, please. You're our only hope. You are our only hope for the Wild in the future here. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens. Frost stuff. They're gearing up.
Yep.
Signing their draft pick.
Sweet.
We gotta wait till it gets a little colder. It's 80-something degrees today. I don't want to talk. I just can't talk hockey. That news, the Krill news, is interesting. I'm not.
It's tough to talk ice when it's 80 degrees outside. It's like,
it feels like summer still.
Yeah, it does. We are definitely in the second summer of the fake fall era.
Yeah.
But we'll get into it. Hockey and basketball, they'll be our two leaders.
Yeah, for sure.
But
vibe of the week.
Vibe of the week, I have a perfect one actually. I texted you Saturday night,
Here we go,
I
here we
was
go.
up in the cities hanging out with some buddies, and we went to a bar in up in the little northern part of the cities, not super north, but it wasn't in Minneapolis or St. Paul.
Okay.
But it's this bar, great bar, 2-for-1s all day, 9 a.m. to 1 a.m. And $4.75 20-ounce domestic taps. So great deal. They had karaoke.
What's the name of the place?
The Boulevard.
Ooh, great name.
Definitely go check it out. It's great. It's great.
Comments below if you've ever been to the Boulevard.
It's a great place. I highly recommend. We went there. We got our drinks ordered, and they were like, "Hey," because the guy I was with, huge Hawkeye fans. Boo.
Oh yeah.
But
Ew.
Nebraska had already won at that point during the day, so we wanted to watch the Hawks. So we get our food, and we're like, "Hey, is there any way to get the Hawks game on?" And at first, our server said that she didn't think that they could get the Big Ten network on.
Okay, hold on, time out. This is my least favorite thing of all restaurants, sports restaurants. Like, why is it so hard to get a game on the television?
Just hold on.
I know, but
story's not done there.
Okay, keep going.
Story's-
I'm already triggered.
Okay,
keep going.
We both-
This is not a vibe of my week. Okay,
It gets there.
okay,
We
go.
both-
Keep going. Sorry.
We both were pretty bummed. We're like, oh, we're gonna drink our drink and then like head back and figure out something else to do because if we can't watch a Hawks game, why are we even here? But a different server saw that my buddy was wearing a Hawks hat, and she's like, "You're trying to get the Hawks game on? Let me do something." So she was able not only to get it on one TV so my buddy can watch it perfectly, she gets it on another so I don't have to like crank my head to watch it.
There you go. See this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Give that person a raise.
Huge.
Give that person a raise.
Huge move. And on top of that, A-class for this, she wasn't even our server. It was just a different server. A-class move because they were having karaoke that night. And she's like, "Hey, we actually need your guys' table to set up for karaoke. Can I get you guys around and move you to a different table? And also set up the Hawks game on that TV that you both can just watch there." And we're like, we would have moved for free. You didn't have to buy us around, but we took the round, of course. Like,
Yeah, they should have just turned the Hawks game on in like the bathroom or something, because that's where they belong.
they did end up winning though. They kind of crushed.
Would they Colorado school the
blind?
the children?
No.
They play like Green Bay JV.
They played UMass. They played UMass. So more of a hockey school, anyways. But they looked good.
Don't even know they had a program.
Yep.
Don't even know they had a program.
But yeah, it would blow out like 41-13 or something like that. So some of their defensive guys for UMass actually were pretty studly, though, I'm not gonna lie. There were some big hits on Iowa's quarterback. Anyway, the vibe of the week.
Roll bits.
Roll bits.
Mark Gronowski. He's a Jackrabbits Hall of Famer.
Oh.
Gonna be a Hall of Famer.
Okay.
Won the 2 national championships. Roll bits.
Ears down.
Oh my. Oh. We can't have this. We can't have that. Taylor is gonna comment on below on that.
Oh yeah. No, I like the Jackrabbits.
Ears down.
Yeah, that's what like the Coyotes or the.
Now we're talking Coyotes.
And the NDSU people say. Anyway,
God.
So we're sitting at the table watching the Hawks game, drinking. We're like 6-7 deep, having a great time, just munching on some wings, just phenomenal. And as I look behind at the bar at the TV that they have set up like inside where the taps are, I can see the Lynx are playing. So I text Derek a picture, and I'm like, college football and Minnesota Lynx basketball, couldn't ask for a better vibe.
That is a good vibe. I took you back all the things I said.
So that's my vibe of the week. Getting to watch Lynx basketball.
That is good.
Hawks football, which I'm like, more college football. I was putting down some nasty parlays. None of them hit.
Do they ever?
No, not really. We literally talked about that in the group chat, and I had to like go back 8 months ago when I hit a pretty good one, but besides that, they usually don't hit. I didn't put any today.
It's probably good.
Yeah.
It's probably, you should limit those.
Yeah, I did.
Once a month. It's probably... I've never even done one, I don't think.
when they hit, it's a blast.
I'm sure, but
Because
it's
usually
like
I go long shots. So
flipping a coin or something. But
it's worse than that. But
it's
yeah.
worse than that.
That's my vibe of the week. It's just getting to have drinks with friends and watching college football and Lynx basketball. Can't complain.
Sounds like an ideal day.
It was great.
My vibe of the week. I have two of them. One of them saw an awesome video of shout out to Randy Moss. I wore his sweatshirt last episode. I mean, you guys know who Randy Moss is. I'm not like saying like, oh, if you didn't know, now you know. But
make sure to go check out
612Tees.
612Tees. I checked out their stuff. Super cool.
Fire
Definitely gonna get something.
Not a sponsor, but I would.
Yeah, go check them out.
I would love for that to be a sponsor.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
I don't even know how that would work. Anyways,
and Unreal. Also,
Unreal would be great. That'd be a step up for us.
Where the heck's your logo?
From $0 to it's right here.
Is it? Oh,
yep.
Unreal. Check them out.
Yeah, there you go. Anyways, there's a video of Randy Moss. He was diagnosed with cancer. I think it was like several months ago.
Oh wow! I did
yeah,
not know
he's
that.
been in treatment.
I did see this video.
And he finished his treatment, rang the bell, and I don't know. Shout out to Randy Moss. He's a legend and all-time guy. Can't really say much bad about him.
I mean, he literally has a segment on ESPN that's known across the world. Get Moss.
Yeah, we just have such cool Minnesota sports legends, and even KG's in the media world. Like he was. Yeah. Anyways, he's like an all-time favorite for me. So seeing that he was going through that made me sad.
Hey, he beat it though.
He beat it though. Just like I had no doubt.
He literally mossed.
He mossed cancer, and he did. Yeah. He should have mossed the bell, but I think he was just gonna.
I think he was just enjoying the moment.
Enjoying the moment. Yeah. He should go back and moss it.
That would be funny.
That would be. He should do like a commercial for them or something.
Oh God.
Yeah.
They make so much money.
Oh my gosh, they should do that. Hey, there you go. Free idea, Randy Moss, if you're listening.
Yeah.
Randy Moss is not listening.
Randy Moss, if you're listening, please comment so that we have evidence that you actually listen.
I think I would retire.
Why? We have Randy Moss. He'd be bummed.
That's all I'd want.
I'd have to put the show on my back, Derek. You imagine me talking about Lynx basketball without Derek? Terrible. Be bad to be like, so, Fee.
She's pretty good.
She's doing great.
She's pretty good.
Not quite the face of the league, though.
Oh, no. We've confirmed that. Andrew, shout out to Andrew for confirming that.
Yeah.
He knows it all. Yeah. My other one is we have a new member of our family. His name is Kevin. Yes. It's not Kevin Garnett, but it's Kevin Garnett 2.0. And his name is Kevin, Big Ticket Junior.
Mm-hmm.
Little Ticket? Kevin, the dog. Is he biting? What are you doing back there? You've probably been hearing a 9 on the ball. Here's Kevin. Come on, get up here.
Kevin.
Get up here. Get up here.
He's all excited.
Yeah. You probably can't see him. He's in the thing here. Hey, jump up here. Jump up. There he is. Here's Kevin.
Aww.
There he is. He's old. He's about 9 years old. We ended up adopting him from a friend. Kind of a crazy story. Don't need to get too much into it, but yeah, he's enjoyed our house for the last couple weeks. Obviously, we're
playing ball
now. He loves ball. He had a basketball, and he ripped it up today. He was
literally
so excited
during the interview.
During the interview with Andrew, and he just absolutely destroyed his ball.
You actually, if you pay attention to me, about halfway through the interview, I start like leaning over, and my arm is like, off doing stuff, and I'll look over every now and then. I'm petting Kevin.
Yeah. He's chill.
Derek was in his world talking ball with Andrew, and I was in my world petting Kevin.
And Kevin was listening to the ball talk, and he was just like, "I'm so jacked up. I want to play."
He was jacked up. He was breathing heavy. He was like,
yeah, he's breathing heavy now. You can probably hear him. He always just carries the ball around.
The ball.
Yeah, he's destroying everything today.
Dude, you are a monster, my guy.
Yeah, but he just carries the ball around with him always, and he sleeps with the ball. I don't know if it's healthy. I don't know. He sleeps with the ball in his mouth. Like we have this soft basketball that he demolished, but we have to get another one. He sleeps with it in his mouth. I don't know if that's a bad thing. So comment below if you're a vet and tell us if that's safe or not. But he loves it.
Look how locked in is.
Yeah.
He is.
His favorite thing is ball and fetch. He plays fetch for hours. He's like a golden retriever mix thing. We don't really know for sure, to be honest. But he's Kevin.
It's Kevin.
It's Kevin. Yeah.
I love Kevin.
Yeah, me too.
Great addition.
Great addition to Stevie.
We'll
Him and
cut
Stevie.
Yeah, we'll cut this part out, but I don't like Stevie. Stevie does not like me either.
Stevie doesn't have a lot of fans. I'm not gonna lie. I like Stevie.
Do I still have my battle scar from Stevie?
Yeah, Stevie.
Kinda. It's faded.
Stevie's just she's the boss of the family, and
She is.
yeah. But yeah, that'll do it for this episode. What an electric ride!
I know.
We had this was like putting together. This is what I imagine Oppenheimer. The amount of stress to put this together.
The tech issues.
You had
and
today.
the worst part is I bought a piece of equipment.
And it probably isn't any great quality for this.
No,
We still didn't solve it.
We're transitioning.
Yeah, we're in the middle of moving
Yeah.
stuff.
We're
out of the studio.
Yeah, we're out of the stew. We're in our own stew now.
Yeah, we have our own personal stew.
Yeah.
We'll get it all set up. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna like it. All the 30 people that listen.
Hey,
30 people is more than I ever imagined at this point.
we had 100 on our recap video.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Shout out to all the listeners.
Yeah. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to the vibes. What should we call our fans?
Vibe gang.
The vibe gang, like Daddy Gang.
Okay, maybe not.
Vibey gang.
Maybe.
Vibey gang.
No.
What's up, Vibey gang?
Oh god.
Should I do
no,
that?
no, y'all comment what you want your
Yeah.
names
What should
to-
be? Yeah. What should you guys be called?
We could name the Chang gang. No.
No. We got rid of those people. Shout out to Taylor Johnson though. He's him and his dad run the chain gang.
Oh.
They are part of the chain gang at DSU games.
Oh, that's such a fun job.
Yeah, they've been doing that forever. Legends there. Legends in Brookings.
Dang. Ears up.
Yeah. Roll bits. Wait, ears up? That's for Jackrabbits, right?
Or Yodes.
No. You can't just take
It's either one.
the thing. Okay, anyways, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you next time. Keep your vibes up and your not good vibes down and out.
That's great.
That was actually pretty good. All right. See ya. Peace.
That's a wrap.
That'll do it.